Pacific Northwest, the crime wave sweeping across Seattle, getting worse and spreading to other parts of the state of Washington. And this after the defund movement took hold. Seattle radio talk show host Jason Rantz been on the story from the beginning. He writes this: Seattle's crime surge spread statewide thanks to Democrats' progressive policies. To defend that position, Jason Rantz is with me now. How you doing? It's been a while. Good morning to you. Make your case. What's happening in your state?
Yeah, so I mean, we can look very clearly at what's happening. So Seattle has averaged now more than one homicide a week so far this year, and we've seen gun violence go into places we've never seen before. And unlike Las Vegas, what happens in Seattle doesn't stay in Seattle. The Tacoma, Washington homicide rate is just as bad as Seattle. You've got robberies through the roof. Bellingham is seeing a 300% increase in car thefts. You're seeing domestic violence cases just go through the roof, and you can tie it directly to the laws that have been changed by Democrats in the state legislature. They've banned most vehicular pursuits under most circumstances. And so criminals now know this, meaning they can literally just drive off. And unless there's probable cause that a violent crime had just occurred, police can't even go after them. That has happened statewide. You also have a reasonable suspicion standard going away for use of force, which means even just detaining someone, you have to get to that probable cause place. Now, police have been calling for reforms for the last year and a half. They saw a little bit of a fix in this last legislative session, but it's very clearly not enough, and there's no sign that the crime is subsiding.
Okay, Jason, let me read from your piece, second paragraph. You write, thanks to a Democratic legislature that codified the radical defund police proposals in the laws, plus light on crime judges, the crime surge hitting Seattle is spreading across the state. There is no sign that the crime explosion will slow. In fact, it is getting worse. You talk about Bellingham, which is on the border with Vancouver, right? Auto theft is up 300%. Spokane in the eastern part of the state of Washington, auto theft is up 90%. It's quite a difference. It's quite a change.
Absolutely. And at the same time, we have two other issues. We have police departments that are wholly understaffed. Seattle Police Department so far has lost since 2020, since all of the anti-police rhetoric has really taken foothold and the defunding movement, they've lost over 400 cops. We now only have 888 deployable staff for the department in a city the size of Seattle that's going through this crime surge. And then, of course, you've got the judges who are refusing to go hard on some prolific criminals. And if they happen to be juveniles, even involved in alleged gun violence, they end up getting released or put into restorative justice programs. You had two teenagers who had allegedly robbed a pawn shop with a gun, pistol whipped the owner, gets in front of a judge, gets put on house arrest. Well, guess what? They're now accused of a murder in a pot shop robbery just like a week after this. So very clearly, we're seeing this sort of confluence of all these issues that are really epitomizing what's wrong with some of these progressive cities.
Last point, Jason. There's a Senate race in November there. Patty Murray, the Democrat. I think she's had the seat for 20 years. And Tiffany Smiley is a Republican challenging her. And Republicans are saying they've got a real good chance to flip this seat. Now, is that for real?
Absolutely.
Or is that wishful thinking?
No, it's absolutely real. I mean, Patty Murray has been in power for so long, but you really don't hear from her. You don't know what her accomplishments are from a state perspective. You have Tiffany Smiley, who is this breath of fresh air. She's got a great story. She is a total fighter, and she's a conservative that can win statewide. We're not ever going to get this hardcore right-wing conservative in Washington state. You have to be moderate in some places. And on the issues that matter the most right now, on crime, on homelessness, on national defense and the border, surprisingly, even for Washington state, she's on the right side of these issues. And I think Patty Murray is getting dragged down by the fact that the Democratic Party has just become so progressive. And outside of Seattle, while there's a lot of votes here, that's not the entirety of Washington state, and a lot of people are fed up.
Well, it's something we'll watch. Crime, Seattle numbers. Homicides up 17%, robbery 31, aggravated assault 32.5. Jason, thank you for your time out of Seattle today. Jason Rantz, thanks.